Hi everybody, welcome to our second edition of the Sunday Drive, and we are all wearing green today, and we're wearing green for Green Shirt Day, which we'll explain to you a little bit later, but first I'm going to introduce you to everybody. Right here we have baby Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hi everybody.
Say hi. And then we have his mom, Jessica, and his aunt, Stacy, in the back, and their story is so amazing. I have known these two ladies since they were very young girls, teenagers, and they are so inspiring, and their story is going to inspire you. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you cry. You're going to love it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your Sunday drive. This is baby Ben, and he looks the picture of health right now. But he was recently very sick. When did he first start noticing that he was sick?
He was 3 days old.
3 days.
Yeah, we just, the morning we got discharged from the hospital was Good Friday. And it was, as the day went on, we were noticing that I couldn't wake him up. He was just really, really sleepy. And I just felt in my heart that something was wrong. So of course you call your mom first. So
Yep.
I did that and just told her how, I just was feeling like something wasn't right. I couldn't wake him. He wasn't eating. And as time went on, I kept trying to feed him. Got into the evening, called up the maternity ward in Lindsay, where I was just discharged from that morning, and I just told them that, we just left this morning, and Ben isn't eating. He's not waking up, and I just felt that something wasn't right. So we brought him. They said to bring him up and they'd take a look at him. And when I got there, the nurses checked him out in the maternity ward, and they said that they also felt something was off. They admitted him right away, and they did a blood sample that they never ever usually do there, and that was really what was a pivotal moment. They realized he had really elevated ammonia levels, and he was in a hyperedemic coma.
Good call on your part, knowing just instinctively, right, that something is wrong. And Ben's your second child, so you didn't have that with William.
No, I would have not known.
Right?
Yeah, I would have not known at all. So they did all the right steps. They called Sick Kids and got direction from them once they had the blood tests back, and Sick Kids immediately came to Lindsay and got us. He was diagnosed with citrullinemia, which is a rare disease that the liver is missing an important gene that breaks down protein. So when he was eating, the protein wasn't getting broken down, and it was filling up his body with ammonia, which can potentially take your life. So Sick Kids only diagnoses about 2 a year. It's very rare. Only 1 in 57,000 babies are born with it a year early.
And what causes it? Do they know?
Just Chris and I have these lowercase x's, and it just didn't make a full gene when he was growing inside it, and when he was being conceived, he just was missing this gene that allowed the liver to function properly, and so very rare. And luckily Sick Kids knew right away, and when we got there in the morning, they just immediately took him from me, and basically they put Chris and I in a room and let us, they just took him, and
as a parent, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it was horrible. So the only blessing was, within an hour they had a diagnosis and a plan. So they were able to, assess the situation, get it under control, get the help he needed, and from there on out, we just knew that Sick Kids was the best place, and they just helped us and helped Ben and did everything. Timing was everything with that, because with the citrullinemia, it can obviously cause severe brain damage.
Wow.
And because it was so fast that they acted on everything so fast, they were able to save his life. So once they took some blood from him there, they sent it out to Ottawa, which is a genetic is the head of genetics there, and they determined they determined how severe the citrullinemia was.
And how severe was it?
Yeah, it was very severe. It was, so once they got the results back from that, they determined Ben needed a liver transplant ASAP. Wow. So normally with kids with citrullinemia, they don't transplant until 1.5 to 2 years of age. They want them to be bigger, healthier, stronger. But in Ben's case, they said he wouldn't survive the winter if he was because anytime you get a cold or anything with this condition, it creates elevated ammonia levels, and it really it just
dangerous.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. So they decided that he needed a liver right away, so they put him on the deceased donor list June 27th. So we were waiting.
So that was the deceased donor list. And
Yeah.
there are, I was reading up on it actually before our talk, and there are, I think in 2016, there was about 4,500 people on the waiting list, and 500 or so people a year die waiting for a donor.
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. And especially with someone of Ben's age, because they want the liver to be perfect. They wouldn't just give him like a 7-year-old liver that has had like medical compromises throughout its life. Like they want it to be, it's very specific. So they initially, like right away, they said to us, we're going to put him on the deceased donor list, and you need to start trying to find like family, you know, your husband, myself, anybody that would be willing to do the surgery. So, but they only like you to work one person up at a time, because it costs the hospital like $20,000.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they, that actual very day that he got listed, you did your application, like you did the initial.
And this is where Stacy comes in.
Yeah. So she went on the Toronto General website and submitted the application. The first step is get your blood type tested, which was
I'm O positive.
O positive,
so I went to the doctor and got my blood work done so that I knew what I had as far as my blood type. And then I did the application right away when I knew I was the match for blood.
So you were the match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
blood.
for blood.
For
Yeah.
blood, yeah.
So the application, like the screening process is like 12 weeks long. Like it's crazy. So all the while they're telling us like, just keep, you know, he was listed
How was he?
towards the top of the list, because they rate you on like a point system. So he was 33 points out of 40 to start off. So he was listed and put at the top because it was pretty desperate, pretty like priority wise to get the organ. And we still never got the call. Like,
So we're going on our Sunday drive, and we're heading down Lang's Trail, which is where you guys lived, right, as kids?
Yeah, we grew up down here.
Down here.
So it's kind of a cottage road.
Yes, it's a little icy.
A bit icy.
But it's a good thing I have this beautiful vehicle that Manly Motors in Lindsay, downtown Lindsay, provided us with this van for the Sunday drive, because they knew that Ben would need a little bit of space to crawl around and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think we're better on the road too with this. So.
Yeah.
And it's got heated seats. What else does it have? The automatic doors.
Heated back seats.
Heated back seats, which is important.
Nice. We weren't allowed to sit inside and watch TV.
No, or play video games.
My dad would come upstairs, and if I was watching TV, he'd be like, out you go, it's sunny out. So we had to go find something to do. But in the summer, there was always so many cottagers up and kids around that we would take off, and they'd say dinner's at 5, and we'd come home for dinner, and then we'd go again.
Yes.
It was a lot of testing that had to be done through Toronto General. So I started that process in August, and had to go down for a couple of days at a time and do CAT scans and chest x-rays, blood work. I had to do a liver biopsy on a different day. So I was back and forth a lot from Barrie to Toronto, getting all that stuff done. And then when I got the okay that my liver was good, it just needed a little bit of work, I started a shake program. And I did that shakes only meal replacement for 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
3 or 4 shakes a day.
Yeah, 3. I did, for the most part, I did 3 shakes a day. So there were 225 calories a shake, and I could have no more than 4 a day. So that was it. No food, no nothing. And to get my weight down a little bit and get my liver in its optimum health, which I was able to do at the end of it. So
That's amazing.
And then good.
The procedure was put off, right?
Yeah, so we were supposed
Postponed?
to go October 18th, and then it was postponed because a donor came in for somebody else, which is obviously fine. So they put us off to November 1st, but I was really sad because I was looking forward to eating food again. And so that was a little bit tough, but I really wanted to eat some chips or something. But yeah, it went by fast, and then all of a sudden it was the night before and we were ready to go. So it was
And
good.
how did you feel the night before? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you?
No, I was just happy.
Halloween.
Yeah, it was Halloween. So the candy part wasn't fair, but
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they had a nice big bowl of it actually at the front desk at the Ronald McDonald House when we were checking in. So the guys were all husbands were grabbing the candy and I just kept walking. But I was fine. I just was happy that we were there. And my surgery started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and Ben's was going to start 2 hours after mine. They had to get in there and take a look and make sure that, you know, visually everything was actually what they thought it was based on all the scans and the testing. And then they call over to sick kids around 10 and say, okay, get Ben ready. We're ready to go. So.
And you said you weren't, like you were on a mission. You knew that you just put your head down and you had to get this done and that was it. And it wasn't tough at all.
No. Afterwards, though, and Jess will be able to tell you that once I sort of came out of the medicated phase, which I was in for the first couple of days, because you're obviously I was under for 7 hours, so it's a long surgery. So the first couple of days are a bit gray, but I got really emotional actually afterwards. Anytime anybody would say to me, oh, you were the donor and, you know, how is he doing? I was choked constantly. And that's not really my normal personality, but I could barely talk about it. And I think it was because I sort of held it in for so long. Like I just was, this is what we got to do. We got to get there. And then once it was all over, I could kind of take a breath, relax. And then I was a crybaby off and on for a couple of days.
Well, you saved a life.
Yeah.
And did they tell you how much of your liver they took?
Yes, actually, I had my first surgical consult December 4th, just a follow-up to make sure everything was good. And he said they ended up taking 25% of my liver. And then I guess they sort of scale it down to fit inside Ben, so it'll grow with him. Yeah. But if it was an adult to adult, they can take up to 75%. So it's a pretty long recovery that way. But from adult to baby, it was only like 25%. So it was good.
And how long will it take that to regenerate?
It's already back. Yeah. By December 4th, when I had my surgical consult, he said that it was likely fully grown by then, but they do a 3-month MRI. So I had that on February 16th.
And it's all...
And it was good. Everything is good. So I'm discharged back to my family doctor, do blood work once a year for 10 years. And that's it.
Amazing. And what about Ben?
So he had his 3-month post-op
3 months.
ultrasound.
So it's only been 3 months.
No, well, we're going on 5 months.
5 months. Okay.
Yeah, so when we were there in February for his 3-month post-op ultrasound, it's standard they checked his new liver and said it looks great.
That's kind of why we're in green today, so we can talk a little bit about that now too for Green Shirt Day, and that is to raise awareness for organ donation, and that was by one of the Humboldt Broncos parents, right? Who lost their son, Logan Boulet, and he ended up donating his passing. His family donated his organs, and I think 6 people received all of his various organs. So he saved or improved 6 lives just through that donation, which is totally amazing. And so you guys wanted to raise awareness, right? Of organ donation with your story. So thank you so much for telling your story, because it is important. And a lot of people, like I said, don't realize that you can be a living donor, but you also need to sign your organ donation cards, become an organ donor. I mean, if it comes to that, you're not going to need the organs anyway, so you're not going to know. Just sign your card, because you could, let's have a little look at Ben's sweet little face. You could save a life just like this by becoming a donor, right? Yeah. So I think that's the main point of today, is to go online, check it out, sign your card, and then consider becoming an organ donor as well, right? What do you guys want to say?
5 minutes to do it on the Service Canada website. As soon as all this started with Ben, I went on Service Canada, made sure that I already was. The live donor is something completely different, but I know that I'm also a donor for hopefully down the road whenever.
Yeah, and if you're not sure if you are signed up or not yet, you can check the back of your health card. Yep. And if it says donor Z9, then that means you're already signed up to be a donor. Yep. So, because I couldn't remember if I had done it. It was so many years ago when I went online to sign up and do it and I was already a donor. So you can check out your health card.
So look at the back of your health card, and if it says donor, Z9, then you're already a donor. If not, please sign your organ donation card. What was the website, do you remember?
Organ Donor Ontario.
Organ Donor Ontario. So I'll put it on the bottom anyways, but go there and register to be an organ donor. Please, you could save a life.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your story. It's so amazing and inspiring and beautiful. I mean, sisterly love.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, right? Like, and I know it's not always perfect. Your sisters, you probably fought when you were younger, but
Yep.
you were there for each other when it counted.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, that's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it was tough times, and you know, family and friends and everybody helped, like, supported us and got us through those days, and you know,
all of our friends were super supportive too. Just the whole community, we're so lucky.
Yeah.
Everybody was
our
just right
brother
there.
and just it was just amazing. Yeah, you get through some dark days, and now you come out smiling. And
Happy birthday, dear Ben. Happy birthday to you.
it's a new outlook on life. Like they really want you to live your life, because it's a second chance.